all of those young men are doing well here at Averett University. Miles Bennett, exceptional player, buying into our offensive philosophy. Obviously, he's a playmaker, just exciting to watch. Travis Jones, another young man who basically found his niche in our offense and is extremely competitive day in and day out. Dustin Kaczynski, another standout receiver from the area. We were just tickled to death about him as a player and what he's going to bring to our program moving forward. Jeff Williams, inside linebacker, another young man from the local Danville area, experiencing some injury at the current time, but we just are very excited about him moving forward as well. Alan Smith, another receiver. We're pretty heavy with receivers, progressing nicely day in and day out. Marcus Clemens, one of our running backs out of Chatham, another young man who's just an unbelievable young person and just a fine football player. We look for him to make a huge impact on special teams this year, as well as the offensive side of the ball. So all those young men are enjoying the experience of Averett University football, Averett University as a whole, and we're just excited about having them. Biggest challenge is just new systems, new staff, new team, new systems, trying to get our systems in place. There's always a wrinkle. There's always something that no matter how hard you work or how detailed you think you are, there's going to be a surprise. And that's the joy about having a great staff, is we can work through our issues when they show up. But that's the part of it that provides anxiety for me, is what's going to be around the next corner. But again, when you have a great group, and then moreover a great group of young men who you're not focusing on a lot of distractions, we can get things buttoned up and fixed up in a hurry. That's a tough question. Defensively, I'd like to think that Dante Gilbert, one of our starting corners, based on his work in the spring, you would think that he would have a breakout season this year as a sophomore. We like to believe that Matt Smith had some injury last year and some personal situations last year, but he's a standout athlete that we're excited about moving forward at the defensive end spot. Tommy Lucas, defensively, playing on our defensive line, is very consistent day in and day out. And consistency wins football games. Consistency puts you in position to make plays. He's not one of these guys you're going to look at and he's going to physically dominate you, but he is going to execute you to death. And he's going to wear you out by doing things right. Niko Peterson is another young man, a defensive end that we're excited about his ability to make an impact on this defense. And we're going to have a step-up guy at inside linebacker. Ben Harris is having a really good preseason. Jake Salisbury, young freshman Jordan Bobo. Then we moved over Brandon Petty from offense to linebacker, and he's showing a lot of promise inside there. Just a speedy young man, just a high motor football player that we're looking to make an impact. Kind of sums up that side of the ball. I'm sure I'm leaving a couple guys out. I always do. Thinking back, DeJohn Brooks, a transfer defensive end, having an outstanding camp as a defensive end. He's very athletic, and he understands the game for a first-year player in our program. Offensively, our trigger guy. We look for Kirkland Brown to have a really good season. This offense fits what he does, and he commands it. He's a student of the game. He really takes it all in, and we're excited about Kirkland managing the football game, taking what the defense gives him, and being the type of leader that he is. It's hard to put a finger on our running back position because, honestly, I feel like we have 5, 6 guys. Obviously, you can't play. It's not enough balls to go around, but the top 4 guys, you're looking at Xavier Morgan, Raymond Brown, Nate Driver, and Travis Jones. We don't get a break defensively. When one of those guys leaves the field and another one comes on, you have to be on your toes and you have to be executing at a high level to bottle those guys up. So we have tremendous depth there. Our receiving core is awesome. I think we go at least 6 deep and feel pretty good about who's on the field. From Michael Barber Jr., Terrence Owens, Brandon Cowden. You keep going with Miles Bennett, Alan Smith, Dustin Kaczynski, Clinton Glover. I mean, I can just keep going. These guys are really having a great camp. And obviously, game day will separate those guys a little bit there. But in terms of just ability and willingness to do the things that we're asking them to do, we're very excited about that group. And then our tight end core, Chaz Norman, we look for great things out of him. He was a little dinged up in training camp, and we're looking for him to come off of that in the next few weeks and be ready to go. Taylor Booz, Davy Holmes, those 2 young men really give us an element of creating width in our offensive philosophy, and giving us a chance to utilize our tight ends, because those guys can really run and stretch the field, as well as physical enough to block on the edges. And our offensive line is going to be very interesting. We have a core group of upperclassmen of about 5 or 6 guys who we feel really good about, who have experienced a college football game, but we have a handful of freshmen who are coming along nicely, and we feel like they're going to be really good football players. And so in terms of experience, not very high on experience, but ability to play this game and play this game at a high physical level, we have a young group that's going to add a different dimension to Averett University football excuse me, as we move forward. So a lot of things have to fall into place, but we have the pieces. Now it's up to us as coaches to get them coached up and get those guys in a situation that they have their best chance to be successful on Saturday afternoon.